Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Diptarup Sasidar and I am an assistant professor in the Amity School of Languages, Amity University, Chhattisgarh. And this is the second session on the Lotos-Eaters by Lord Alfred Tennyson. So in the first session, we had a dialogue about the differences and the similarities between the two poems that we have done, that is the Ulysses and the Lotos-Eaters, both by Tennyson. And in this, we figured out about the background of the poem, The Lotos-Eaters. I'll post a link about this earlier video so that you can see that also. So in the earlier video, what we discussed is the structure in which this poem is written and the background and all the details that we need to know before we actually begin with the poem. So I also discussed the structure where it is divided into two parts. First 5 stanzas would be the introduction, in which the mariners are introduced, the setting is introduced, and then in the next 8 stanzas we have choric songs. So the mariners, they don't want to go home, they have had the lotus fruit and they are intoxicated by it and they just want to stay. So what are their reasons for staying? So what I plan to do in this class is I want to finish off the first 5 stanzas of the poem, which constitutes the introduction. And before that, I wanted to make a little bit of a comment on the verse structure. That is, it is an iambic pentameter, but how does the iambic pentameter happen in this poem, and what does it teach us about the language which was spoken during Victorian period? So during the Victorian age in England, what was the language and how it was spoken? So I've written the first 4 lines of the poem down, extremely iconic beginning, where he says that courage, he said, and pointed toward the land. This mounting wave will roll us shoreward soon. In the afternoon they came unto a land in which it seemed always afternoon. Now let's see. We know that in iambic pentameter we have to find out this pattern. So an unaccented syllable followed by an accented syllable, and we have to find this 5 times. This poem has the unaccented and accented one after another 5 times in every single line. How exactly is that happening? And if we mean this, then how the syllables themselves, since they are simple words, there should be 10 syllables in one line in order to make it 5, that is iambic pentameter. If you don't have 10, if you have 12, it will become hexameter, 6. If it is 8, it would become tetrameter, 4. So because every feet has 2 syllables. So let's see how it works here. Courage, he said. See, in the earlier class, how we had discussed that sometimes iambic lines do start with a trochaic. This is a trochee. This is not an iamb. This is a trochee. So this is a trochaic foot. So courage, he said, and pointed toward the land. See, iambic, 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 iambic. Now, what interesting happens here is today we would pronounce this word as 2 words, right? 2 word is disyllabic, 2 word. But at that time, it was spoken as tword, which is a single syllable word, tword. So courage, he said, and pointed toward, tword is a stressed syllable, toward the land. So courage, he said, and pointed toward the land. So 1 trochaic, all iambic, dominant meter iambic. This mounting, usually ing, all suffixes, they are unaccented. This mounting wave will roll us shoreward soon. Completely iambic pentameter. You can see the pattern, iambic pentameter. This Mountain wave will roll us shoreward soon. In the afternoon they came unto a land. Now see what is happening here. In the afternoon they came unto a land. We are getting 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 accents. So this is all perfect. Let's begin from the end now. Iambic, 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 iambic. This is not iambic. There are 11 syllables in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Instead of 10, like in the rest, we have 11 syllables over here. What does it mean? What has happened over there? This is very common. This pattern, which is da, 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 is called, I'll just write it down over here, anapestic. This is an anapestic meter. So now we know iambic, we know trochaic, and we know anapestic. You have also seen dactylic in the earlier video. So anapestic, dactylic, iambic, trochaic, these are the 4 dominant meters that we have. Other than this, all are simply variations. So over here, this is coming in the form of a variation where an anapestic in an iambic line is very common because you see the pattern is almost same. It's similar. Whereas trochaic often goes with dactylic. Very same pattern. Anyways, in which it seemed always afternoon. See, iambic, 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 iambic. But did you see what I did here? Words like this, seemed, we call it seemed, charmed, correct? Seemed, charmed. You'll find these words in this poem. But the Victorians didn't pronounce it as seemed or charmed. They pronounced it as seemed, charmed. So here you can see very clearly how just by learning about the verse structure, you can actually get to know about the language of the people. Let's make it a little bit easy now. What I'll do is that I'll simply make this video very short and continue talking about the poem in the next video, because I think that understanding this is a little bit important, not just for this poem but for other poems as well. So over here it is completely in iambic pentameter. The dominant meter is iambic pentameter. So in some lines you have an anapestic or a trochaic, but it doesn't matter because out of so many foots, majority of foots are iambic. This one. And so it is iambic. And how many in each line? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pentameter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pentameter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually you will only have 5 accents in a pentameter line. You would have 4 accents in a tetrameter line. So the accents are important. You also came to know that the suffixes and the prefixes, they are not usually accented. They are unaccented. So I think that this lesson in rhetoric, using this amazing poem that is the Lotos-Eaters, and I have told you before that Tennyson is known for his sonorous poems, the sonority of his poems. It sounds good, and because it sounds good, it is a perfect way to introduce you to the idea of scansion. What we did here, people, this is called prosody. I'll just write it over here. Prosody, or the art of scansion. Okay, so I guess I'll keep this video short just for this purpose. In the next video, what we'll do is that we'll finish off the first section of the poem, which I said I would do it in this one. But anyways, we'll complete the first section, that is 5 stanzas, in the next video. See you again very soon.